I've lost 78 pounds now in my journey to lose over 135 pounds. I am more than halfway there, and I'm really happy and excited about the progress that I've made. It's been an interesting experience. I've learned so much, and I've had a time to really reflect on this a lot. See, the thing is that I lost 100 pounds 15 years ago. And over time, situations happened and I gradually gained it back. It's hard to express how disappointing that can be. There were many reasons and excuses as to why it happened, but it did, and we move on. And that's where I'm at now, moving on. I've learned a lot of new information this time around, something that I didn't have last time. Honestly, when I gained back that 100 pounds, I lost all hope of ever getting it off again. I was very depressed about it. I really did try everything in the book that I could think of to get the weight back off, but it just wasn't working. Finally, I went to my doctor in desperation and said, you know what? We've done diets, we've done pills, I've done injections. Absolutely nothing is working. I think now is the time where I need to really seriously think about surgery. And the doctor agreed with me. I mean, my BMI over 46. So it was time to really think about that. I was well into the danger zone. So I signed up for the weight loss surgery. Um, I was planning on getting a gastric sleeve. It sounded like the best situation for me. One of the biggest, most difficult parts that I've found with weight loss is the sensation of being hungry all the time. It gnaws on me, distracts me, makes it so I can't think or operate. It's unbearable at times. And I figured if I could sign up for the surgery, it would help with that so I wouldn't have the heavy cravings anymore. And I thought that would be the solution. And for the longest time, I put all my faith in that basket. And time went by, months became years. And I sat on a very long wait list, and it felt even more hopeless. My mobility went down. I had harder and harder time walking up and down stairs. I was in so much agony whenever I go shopping. I grab a shopping cart to lean on. Um, I struggled through that. I didn't want to get into an electric cart because to me that felt like I was just giving up. Um, and I became more and more desperate over time. Finally, as the surgery was near and in sight, I went through some processes, some steps that I needed to do to get ready. And one of those steps um, was to look at increasing my protein to a minimum of 60 grams a day. That was a requirement. I had to verify that I was doing it and that I was achieving it, which I did. Next came doing a 2 week liquid diet. They called it a fast. I would not qualify that as a fast. I drank liquids, but certainly the calorie count was definitely there. And it was grueling. It was difficult. I suffered through it. I white knuckled it because I was determined I was getting this surgery, that was my solution. After that, there was again another very, very long period of time, about a 2 year wait from that point. Um, and again, I kept with um, reading their manuals, and I started to think, why don't I implement this 60-gram protein thing now and see what happens? And that's really what got me started on what I'm doing right now. Um, I started with 60 grams a day, and eventually I realized something. My weight was going down without even trying. And next step led to the next step, led to the next step. So first it was 60 grams, then I eliminated added sugars. Then I started looking at processed foods. Then I started looking at going with leaner protein choices. And the leaner choices for me were primarily looking at eggs, milks, cheeses, and Legumes, yes, I know eggs, milk, and cheese doesn't sound all that lean. I get it. But anyway, those were the choices that I used. I went to more of I would call it a pescatarian diet. I don't eat a lot of meat, but I do eat some for fish, for example, is one that I will eat. Um, Over time, I learned to shift my diet, my palate, everything. And the funniest thing happened, when I increased the protein, when I increased the fiber, my appetite went down. When I got rid of all the added sugars, then something else happened. My cravings stopped, dead stop. I don't have them anymore. Yes, I can go to the grocery store, stand in the aisle next to the candy bars, and do nothing because I really don't crave it. In fact, I know how bad it made me feel so many times. So I'm able to pass through that now. And, it's been a different process because when I lost 100 pounds 15 years ago, I really did it by following the Canada's Food Guide. And I white knuckled it and I exercised like there was no tomorrow. I was out every day jogging. I worked very hard. It was very physically demanding situation and I trimmed the fat. But I really did struggle. It was difficult, and I was hungry most of the time. And I didn't want to go through that again. And especially since now arthritis has crept in and I really don't have that ability to exercise like with reckless abandon like I did before. I just can't. So I had to come up with a way to lose weight without piling on exercise and hurting myself over and over again. Now, mind you, I did fight that. I tried to do a lot in the beginning and I hurt myself many times. Now it's looking at a more conservative approach, which I am waiting for the snow to melt very soon to really start putting that more into action. But it's an interesting experience this time because last time I didn't eat whole foods when I was losing weight. I never went pescatarian with the diet. I did a lot of exercises and I followed the Canada's Food Guide. Now I've cut out all the ultra processed foods, and that does include white flour. You're not going to see me chowing down on bread. I don't do it anymore. I don't eat bread at all. I don't eat crackers anymore. I don't eat pastas for the most part. The only pastas I've really eaten would be soba noodles. It's made of buckwheat, and it's definitely a lot better. It actually helps. I've changed my entire diet. It is a lifestyle change, and it's very big, and it's something that I'm not planning on going back to the way I ate before. It made me miserable. My stomach was upset a lot of the time. A lot of the time, I experienced cramping. I felt really bad. Just so many issues with my energy levels were down. And I had trouble sleeping at night. But now I can sleep through the night. I feel good. I'm not waking up in the middle of the night. I feel a lot healthier. My mind is clearer than it's been in at least these last 15 years. And it's really changed everything about what I'm doing now. So, yes, I did fall. And yes, I did gain weight back. And yes, I'm doing it again. But this time I'm going all the way. Last time I didn't lose all the weight I needed to lose. I stopped partway through. I was the same size I was at the beginning of this time. There was no difference. So this time around, we're going through it, but this time I go all the way to my actual recommended healthy weight. So if you're in for this little journey with me, I'd love to hear from you. Have you done the rebound dieting? Have you gone ahead and tried something and failed and had to go back to the drawing board? Are you up for it again? I know I am. It's worth it. Your health is worth it to get back up, shake off your pride, and keep on going. And that's what I'm going to do. So thank you for joining me. Please chat, discuss, comment. If nothing else, leave a heart in the comments just so I know you got to the end of the video. Thank you so much. Bye for now.